Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. We know it's been quite a while since we made our last video, and there is a valid reason for that. Things have been quite chaotic here on the homestead and leading up to this point where we're at now. So as you can see, the name of this video is The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, and there's valid reason for that. So we thought we'd make an update and just let you know that we are still here, we are still homesteading, so that's coming up. So I think we'll start off with the good news, and some of the good news that we do have for you is that number one, we've actually moved onto the homestead now permanently. We've decided that commuting from Cape Town to the homestead only on weekends to build our place wasn't really working for us. So we got it to a stage whereby the homestead and the house is livable. As you can see now, I'm actually sitting in our lounge area. It's comfortable, it's been painted out, we've got furniture in here now. What we've basically done is we've swapped around. Instead of living in Cape Town and commuting down to the homestead to work here for maybe 2-3 days a week, we are now living on the homestead now and then commuting back to Cape Town for work. So far it's working out quite nicely. It's not too bad, and yeah, we're enjoying it, and we're actually getting a lot more done, obviously, because now in between work, in between my photo shoots and Elsa's meetings, we were able to get quite a lot more done. So it's working out great so far. Yeah, at the moment it's not ideal though. We don't have a kitchen still. We're working out of a temporary kitchen. It's more like a camping kitchen, but we've got our fridges here, we've got our pantry which has now been finished. So we've got the washing machine, we've got our chest freezer and our fridges here. And if you looked at our last video, I think it was, we built the shower, so we've got a lovely warm shower that's provided by the hot water solar geyser, and our solar panels are up, our solar system is in, so we've got good reliable electricity. So things are great here, but there's still a lot of work that needs to be done, but we're tending to get things done more quickly, you know, having been living here now permanently for the last few weeks. So yeah, we're carrying on, and it's coming together nice and slowly, but it's coming together. One of the things that we had to do, and that it was a necessity, is to get our front fence sorted out. Now, if you've watched in our previous videos of what the fence was like, you'd actually laugh, because it really wasn't even a fence. I don't know what you would call that. It was something that was there that was never maintained, and yeah, it was absolutely just horrible. But anyway, so we thought that was one of the projects that we had to tackle, and we eventually got it done. It's 105 meters of fencing in the front, and yeah, it's actually quite incredible, you know, what a fence like that costs. It's unbelievable. But we thought we'd just, you know, take the bull by the horns as such, and get it done, because we needed the security in the front of the homestead. Another piece of good news is that our water tanks have arrived. We actually bought our two 5,000 litre water tanks and one 1,000 litre slimline probably about 12 months ago, and we just asked the supplier just to keep it there, just because we didn't have a decent fence in front of the property, as you guys have seen. So you know, things, now that the fence is up, we can progress with a few more things. We can put stuff onto the property and just feel a little bit more secure, you know, about the security of things. So that's another step forward for us, and that's going to be another project that we're going to tackle, is to get those tanks installed, create a little bit of water security for us, and yeah, do some more rainwater harvesting. So all in all, there has been some good news about what's been going on in the homestead, but also unfortunately there are some projects that have had to take the back burner, and that's where we start coming to the bad news. So the first piece of bad news is that Elsa was involved in a car accident in our bucky. You might have seen that in previous videos. We've got a red double cab workhorse bucky that we've had for probably about 10 years, and unfortunately she had quite a bad accident. She's fine. The car that hit her is a total write-off. He was okay as well, so there's no, but the bucky has taken a bit of a knock, unfortunately, and this took place just towards the end of August, just before we were scheduled to move out to the homestead. So the damages on the vehicle was around about 97,000 Rand, and we thought they were going to write the vehicle off, but the insurance said no, they can go ahead and do the repairs. So we are sitting now at the end of October and we haven't had a bucky at all. We've been driving around in our small little car. Thankfully we have a second vehicle. But as far as progress on the homestead is concerned and projects that we wanted to do, which involved delivering of or getting timber and maybe some concrete blocks and sand and stone and blah blah blah, it just hasn't been happening, because obviously we can't do that in a little Hyundai i10 now, can we? So yeah, it has been quite frustrating. I think not being not having a vehicle. We hoping that next week the bucky will be back, and so that we can carry on and just start getting back to normal, and having two vehicles again that we do need, both for work and for working here, and for the projects that we want to do on the homestead. To have the accident right before we were scheduled to move involved a whole lot of logistics. We had to hire buckies, we had to hire trailers. It was just such a bit of an unnecessary expense, but we just had to do it because we had to get out onto the homestead. So the timing wasn't too good. So that's the first piece of bad news. The second piece of bad news, and it just gets worse from there, is that we've just been bragging to you about our new shiny new fence that we put up. Now, if you recall, a few weeks back, the Overberg region, or the whole Western Cape, went through a massive amount of flooding. Big storms rolled through, and we weren't immune to that. So one morning at 2:30, 1 week after we had put up our shiny new fence, we get woken up with a little bit of a thud. We get up and we go and take a walk outside. It's pitch black, the rain is coming down, the wind is howling, and we look out over the stoep, and a 30 to 40-year-old gum tree on our neighbor's property decided to give up the ghost, fall over and onto our new fence. I actually said to Elsa, it's amazing how the timing has been working out in our lives lately. We have an accident in the bucky 1 week before we scheduled to move to the homestead, and then the tree, which has been around for 40 years, decides to come down 1 week after we put up a new fence. I mean, the old dilapidated fence has been around for, 20 years or so. But the fence comes down 1 week after we've put the new fence up. So the timing of everything is really a bit dodgy and questionable, I think. We're just sort of shaking our heads, looking at each other, just, how's it possible? Anyway, the tree was blocking the road as it was lying on our fence, and we had to get the municipality to come out and chop it up and remove it. And I must say, we phoned them in that very morning, and they were here within 40 minutes. So that was good. But also what happened was they sent a TLB, and it had to come into our yard. And with all the rain and the saturation in the ground, it was just so wet, the TLB got stuck. And in so doing, it had to dig itself out. And in that process, it also just ruined this little grass patch in the front here. So it was just one thing after the other. It was actually quite funny. You have to laugh. You can't get frustrated and cross about things. You just got to sit back and have a good chuckle sometimes. But at least the fence has been repaired. We ordered some wire mesh, and we had to restring the barbed wire on the top, reconcrete the poles, take the poles out, reconcrete them in, and just get it sorted out. So it's brand spanking new again, but it caused a bit of frustration, to say the least. Okay, back to some bad news, and we've come out of quite a harsh winter, and a lot of rain. I mean, this house was really just battered in the storms, and it's look, at the end of the day, it's quite a good thing, because we've been able to see now what the house can take. As far as a whole lot of water coming through the property. Our floors were busy flooding. We had to do some serious damage control early hours of the morning when the rain was coming in, and also the house is starting to crack. There are a lot of cracks that are coming through on the walls, that we're going to just, I don't know, we're just going to patch them up. But we just feel that we also need to do some underpinning of the foundations, just to give the structure of the house a little bit more integrity. So those are big projects that we're just going to have to do, but that's all going to be happening in summer. All we're looking at now is just for everything to dry out, and just hoping that the sun will stay here and the wind will blow. It's pumping now at the moment, so it's not a bad thing. It's drying everything out, and then at least then once that's done and we've got the bakkie back, we can start tackling these sort of projects that need to be done on the house. And the kitchen, we can't build the kitchen until everything has been dried out, and we need to pay attention to some of the walls. There's a lot of mold that has come through, and so we just got to redo those walls, re-scrape them, get them more waterproof, if you want to put it that way, repaint, and then we can start with the with the floors and finishing up. But we can't do that until the sun's out, until it's baked and done what it needs to do, and get this house lacquer dry. Okay, the next piece of bad news, this is a fun video, isn't it? Is that so we found out that our septic tank system doesn't really fare well during winter, and especially when it rains. So there's an issue there where it actually just fills up with groundwater. So with the result that our toilet is unable to flush. So that is something that we're probably going to have to look at a later stage. We've had the septic tank pumped, so it's clean, and that toilet is usable. However, we do have a second toilet which has saved us many times, and that is a composting toilet. And the compost toilet has saved us on numerous occasions when the septic tank system gets full and the honeysucker can't get out here for a day or two, so that means that you can't use the loo. And then we just use the compost toilet. But I've actually been using the compost toilet a lot more over these last few weeks. We are exploring humanure and how we can compost our deposits in the compost toilet. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think it's actually quite an interesting thing to do. I think people are quite scared of talking about their poop, and but I really don't have an issue of number one, using a compost toilet, and number two, exploring how we can use that poop of ours in order to make good soil and good compost. There's a way that you need to do it, and it needs to be done correctly. We understand that, but absolutely nothing wrong with it. So that's something that we're going to be doing going forward. So there we go. We don't have a bakkie, and we haven't had one for 2 months. The house is moldy and damp, and the house is starting to crack. We have a problem with our sewage system, and our septic tank is giving up the ghost. We're starting to poop in buckets now, and we haven't even got to the ugly part of the video yet. That's coming up. Okay, so we've come to the ugly part of the video. So here's the thing. We watch a lot of other homesteading channels on Instagram and on YouTube, and a lot of them are overseas, obviously in America and in Europe and that sort of thing. So you always see the good side of things. You'll see, for instance, the husband would stand there in his lovely dungarees and his straw hat, and holding his pitchfork, and his wife is standing next to him in this lovely floral dress, holding a basket full of the day's harvest with these big cucumbers and tomatoes and things, and it all looks fabulous. Not this homestead. Nah. I tell you what, our homestead at the moment looks like the cross between a construction site and a dump site at the moment. This winter's been harsh. The trees have fallen down. We've had to cut them. break down some walls, so there's builder's rubble. The old fence is lying there in this big pile in the yard that looks absolutely terrible. So yeah, I think, you know, at the end of the day, the homestead at the moment is ugly. It looks ugly. There is no doubt about it, and it just is what it is. It's not going to stay that way. Obviously, we're just waiting for things to dry out. Like I say, you know, the sun that's out now today is really awesome, and the wind's blowing, so that just helps for everything to dry out, because currently there's mud. It's like a marsh, and a dump site. Like I said, it's really bad. So yeah, so that's the ugly part of the video. It's temporary. It's not going to be like that all the time. But man, our homestead today is an ugly homestead. That's what's been happening on the Overberg homestead. Yeah, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So yeah, look, at the end of the day, we're just you know, documenting our journey and sharing with you our lives of what's going on here on our little journey. You know, trying to become more self-sustaining and you know, more self-reliant, and basically state-proofing ourselves. The journey is not an easy one, but nobody ever said it would be. And you're going to have your ups and you're going to have your downs. We've just come out of a bit of a down part. But you know what, we take it as it comes, and we carry on going. And we'll keep on sharing videos and updates again, more frequently, I hope. You know, maybe one day I'll be standing in my dungarees with my straw hat and my pitchfork, and Elsa will be standing next to me in a floral dress. Nah, I don't think that's going to happen. But anyway, yeah, we'll keep on sharing what we're up to, and yeah, as we carry on building our homestead. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all the likes and the subscribes. If you got some comments, we always like to hear from people. Please share in the comments below. If you're a South African homesteader, please get in touch with us as well. We'd like to see what you're doing. Share your possibly share your link, you know, of what you guys are doing. We're always keen to learn and to see what other people around, specifically South Africa, you know, are doing. There's a whole lot of channels based in America, and like I say, you know, all over the world, but not really too many who are documenting what they're doing in South Africa. So yeah, please get in touch. Check our Instagram out at Overberg Homesteading. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.